and there was absolute silence on the other end of the line. Complete and total silence. And finally I said, Terry, are you there? And he said, Julie, do they know what kind of student I was? Terry had a nickname.
Terry has several different collections and pieces. Can you take us through his process and how he curates these pieces?
I can tell you what I know, and that is that he painted with 3 colors, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and mixed all the colors that you see in these paintings from those 3 colors. So that stems from his background as a commercial artist. If you think about your inkjet printer and the cartridges,
Right.
what colors are there? Cyan, magenta, and yellow, right? Mixed all his blacks from those colors and mixed all of the different hues from those colors. He worked on multiple paintings at one time. He always had a group of paintings going. He said that way, every time he would set one aside and come back to it, he'd see it with what he called fresh eyes, and he'd know exactly what it needed next. He had more paintings in the works. He never intended to retire. One day I asked him if he would ever retire, and he looked at me, he didn't miss a beat, and he said, Julie, to me, painting is like breathing.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Never retired because he never,
Yeah. Unfortunately, his diagnosis with Alzheimer's disease did change his plans.
Right.
That was not something that any of us saw coming.
Right.
Too premature. He was much too young. But he left an incredible legacy with this place and all the beautiful painting.
It's almost like you don't need to retire though if you love what you're doing
Right.
every single day. I mean, it's like you said, breathing, walking. It's just second nature.
Second nature. So true.
That's incredible. One of the things you had touched on are the partnerships that Terry, handpicked.
Yeah.
And one of those conservation, on this campus. Can you speak to the partnership and how that's possible, how you can maintain and, give the guests this incredible experience?
Absolutely. So the Art Center sits on 30 acres of property, and the entire park we call Terry Redlin Conservation Park. It was designed by Terry. In fact, we refer to it as his living painting. When this building opened, there was a small creek that ran across the property, and that was the extent of the landscaping. Because of Terry's vision, we now have multiple ponds, over 1.5 miles of walking trails, 6 picnic gazebos, the big, beautiful pavilion, which is our special event facility we rent out for special events, a wonderful patio area that can accommodate up to 400 guests. All of this designed to enhance the experience of the visitors. The ponds are fully stocked, and that is thanks to our partners at Game Fish and Parks, South Dakota Game Fish and Parks. They stock our ponds, and they encourage families to come out and fish. There's no fee to fish. You don't need a license. You just come with your family and your friends and enjoy a wonderful day of fishing at Redlin Pond. And these are the partnerships that make the park alive, and they're an ongoing vision that Terry Redlin, I think, would have loved.
Yeah, when you're out here too, there's ducks flying in, geese, local geese, all, during the warmer climate. So it's incredible all year round, really. So.
Well, I'm glad that you've enjoyed it, and it's a beautiful setting, and the park has really begun to take shape. The trees are maturing, and the trail is beautiful, and we even have some little hidden treasures for the kiddos that want to come out and enjoy the park. Have you seen the tracks that are in the concrete
it's crazy
trail?
how so many animals walked in the concrete while they were wet.
So that, again, was the lighthearted and fun-loving side of Terry Redlin. When we were pouring all of the concrete trails in the park, he wanted us to put some tracks, some animal tracks in strategic locations, so that as people were walking and enjoying the trail, they would come upon these tracks in the cement sidewalk. And so it's fun for us to send kiddos out to search for those.
Right. Kind of transitioning onto the kids aspect. and the educational programs. What kind of educational programs and how can others get involved besides just driving here themselves?
Absolutely. So we have lots of school groups that come to visit the Redlin Art Center. Of course, there's no admission fee, so it's an affordable way for a student group to come and have a wonderful educational opportunity. We do a wonderful game in the gallery. We have gallery games designed for students of different ages. One of the games is our gallery bingo. And so the students work in groups or teams. So it's a great team building exercise. And as they go through the gallery with their gallery bingo card, they're searching for elements within Terry Redlin's paintings. Small pictures that are highlighted on their bingo card. And we, of course, encourage them to go for coverall bingo, right? Or blackout bingo, everything on the card. And that is something that's been so fun to watch young people really study the paintings to find the minute details that are featured on the game cards. Student groups, we start with a video presentation about Terry Redlin, so they always get the background on the artist. I welcome the students and invite them to ask questions about Terry Redlin and the Redlin Art Center, and they're so interested. And there are so many young artists, and that's what is exciting.
Yeah. And then on the adult side too, you guys do guided tours and, bus groups. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, we love group visits. We always encourage people, let us know if they're bringing a group so that we can really roll out the red carpet and cater to that group experience. Again, we always begin with a special welcome to acknowledge the group in the theater, and then we do a question and answer session for the adults as well. We feel like it's a really important part of the Redlin experience to have that one-on-one exchange and be able to have them ask us about Terry Redlin, about his paintings, about his painting style. And so we want to have that face-forward experience with all of the people that visit the gallery. Then they can wander and enjoy it on their own. We also then can extend that visit if they want. We'll do group picnics in the park. We have all kinds of things. The sky's the limit. We'll work with a group to completely tailor the experience to exactly what they're looking for.
What are some of your favorite things about the Redland Art Center, a specific piece, or just something about here that's so special to you?
Oh my gosh. Where do I even begin, right? There's so many things, but first I'll just say it's an honor and a privilege to represent Terry Redlin every day. Um, I don't know many people who welcome guests into their place of business and simply get to say, oh, there's no charge. You can put your money away. And you can come in here and enjoy this beautiful place as Terry Redlin's gift. I never get tired of that, right? What an honor and a privilege it is to be in my seat and be able to share that. When you ask me about paintings, my favorites change. This is my 28th year here. I've had lots of favorites and I have lots of favorites, but right now I love a painting that has just come back to the gallery called On the Alert. It's a deer painting. It's a vertical format. It's absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. It's emotional for me when paintings come back to the gallery. And in the 27 years that the Art Center's been open, 30 original paintings that were owned by private collectors have found their way back to the Art Center. And so what a phenomenal gift to be able to have those as part of our collection. And the other part that I absolutely love about the Art Center is the connection I make with the visitors. We welcome people from all over the world. Yesterday I had a family here from Mexico. It's absolutely phenomenal how many people are moving through Watertown, South Dakota for one reason or another and are stopping at the Redlin Art Center. People from all over the world, as I mentioned. And to have that opportunity to meet them and make friends and have those connections, that's the greatest gift.
I think that's such a cool thing about the Redland Art Center as well. You come back another year and there might be new paintings, new originals that haven't been here before. So that's another cool, ever evolving aspect.
Absolutely. And even if there aren't, We have 170, right? And even if you, I mean, sometimes it's more than you can even take in one visit. We tell people, please come back when you're in the area because you'll find something new, you'll see something different. I do every day. I find things in paintings that I've never noticed before.
Right. I've heard several times people who visit, they'll say, we allotted 3 hours and that's not enough, or 4 hours, or should have spent the whole day.
And isn't that great? Because you know what? Then they get a hotel room and they overnight here and they have dinner, right? And they extend their stay, and that just benefits our entire community.
That is so cool. Yeah. This place is so inspiring, and especially to upcoming artists. Do you have any stories that, hit home on the impact that this place has on other artists?
We had a phenomenal experience just this year. We had an artist travel from his home in Ohio with a painting he painted as a tribute painting to Terry Redlin, because he's been so inspired throughout his career by Terry Redlin. We feature that painting because he gave it to us. We feature his painting on the second floor of the gallery. It's a painting of Terry sitting in front of the Redlin Art Center, and it was done by a wonderful man and a very talented artist by the name of Gary Blevins from Ohio.
Wow.
Gary had been here a couple of times and had been inspired by not only the art of Terry Redlin, by this place. And he was so excited to share the news that he had gone back to his home in Springfield, Ohio, and opened his own gallery and is now showing his original art.
Wow.
It's a phenomenal story, and we were so honored to be the recipient of that painting and to have Gary here. It's one of those real life examples. You never know how you're going to impact someone's life, right? I know Terry Redlin never imagined that that would be something that could happen.
Right.
But Gary is living proof that it does.
Oh, there's so many ways this place makes an impact, and that's just another one. That's incredible.
You know, Terry was often asked to judge art competitions, and he would always decline. And he said, I never want to be the reason someone stops pursuing their dream of becoming an artist.
Yeah.
I will never judge someone else's art. He said, and he lived by a motto that he shared whenever he would visit with a student group especially. He said, if your work is all yours, never copied, and it's the best you can do at the time, it's good enough. Keep working and you'll keep getting better. And he lived by that, and he thought others should as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If you haven't visited or taken in this experience, what are the top 3 things that you would point out to tell the potential visitors?
Okay, first, I would just remind everybody that this is truly Terry Redlin's gift, and admission is free. Secondly, I would remind everybody that when you come here, what you are experiencing are original paintings, not reproductions, and they are different. I can't tell you how they're different. You have to stand in front of them and experience how they're different. The third thing I would want everybody to know is that we're open year-round. Come and see us.
Yeah. And then lastly, what would be one fun fact or something that the people might not know about Terry?
Okay, so there's so many more than just one, but I'll just tell you one quick story, if that's okay. Back in the late 1990s, as the executive director, I received a phone call from the superintendent of the Sioux Falls School District, and they were building a new elementary school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And they had taken a poll of all of the teachers, parents, and students that would be attending this new elementary school to determine what they wanted to call their new school, what they wanted to name their school. And they had all voted to name it Terry Redlin Elementary.
Wow.
And the superintendent was reaching out to me in hopes that I could contact Terry Redlin and ask his permission to use his name on the elementary school. Of course, I was so excited to make that phone call. I couldn't wait to hang up with the superintendent so I could call Terry, which I did. And I told Terry about the phone call and about the request, and there was absolute silence on the other end of the line. Complete and total silence. And finally I said, Terry, are you there? And he said, Julie, do they know what kind of student I was? Terry had a nickname. His teachers in elementary school called him Windows Redlin because they knew they couldn't put him anywhere near a window or he would daydream the day away. And so that kind of tells you how interested he was in school, right?
Yeah.
And he was very, very worried that, might affect their choice.
Yeah.
Long story short, they ended up naming the school Terry Redlin Elementary.
Wow.
And it was the greatest honor Terry Redlin was ever given.
Oh, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Well, we want to thank Julie for coming on. Incredible. So thank you for coming on and doing this. If you guys want to learn more about the Redlin Art Center, check out redlinart.com. They also have a Facebook page. We'll have their information below. We hope you took something away from this, and we'll catch you next time.